Yeah, this is what this is. So section 1, which is has got the fancy hens in at the moment. This is going to become a roller section. I'm going to make 4 kit boxes, 4 roller kit boxes to go on there. There's another aviary going on the front. I've got an aviary on the back that's going on the front. So this is going to become a roller section. The light's gone in here, so it's not great light, but these are my racers, my old bird racers. I've got some lovely birds in here. Absolutely love these birds. That's Kirkpatrick, which I love. That's, if you can see this red there, I don't know if you can see it in the light, but that's out an original Albert Babington pigeon. So yeah, they're the racers. That section's going to stay as the racer section. I've got my little pair of doves in here, which I got for free from the guy I got Frank from. He gave me them with a cage, and I'm going to get them a bigger cage, but they've got a young bird, which is amazing, and they do that laughing thing. And then let me just get one back in, escapee. I'm redoing the roof of this loft. I'm putting a whole wooden roof in. I'm going to keep the metal, but I'm putting a wooden roof in, and I'm redoing the floors at some point as well, and I'm essentially changing over each of the sections. So this section at the moment has got my fancy cocks in. This is going to be my new Mila section. The Milas are going to be in here. I'm going to have racing young birds in that section when I need, and the Milas are going to be in here. But as I say, I'm redoing the boxes when I can. There's the legend that is Frank the pigeon, biggest pigeon I've ever held him personally. So yeah, that's going to be the Mila section, but that's my fancy cocks at the moment. As I say, I'm only just getting into the fancy pigeons, but I love them. There's some real characters in there. They're amazing pigeons. And then in here is these need a clean out, and the reason they're not being cleaned out is because they're moving. These are my milers. Well, I say my milers. I've got my little nuggets, as I call them, my figurita pigeons. I got a few pair of them. They're going to go in with the fancies when I do a whole big move around. But yeah, apart from the Spanish figuritas, the rest of these are all milers. Well, I say that, no, there's a couple of the original. These are the very first pigeons Andy and I got when we started again in 2019, and they're in here. They're going to be going in with the fancies. So this section's going to get redone. I'm going to change nest boxes over, get bigger nest boxes for the pouters, and change over. This will be my fancy breeding section. But yeah, these are the milers at the moment, as I say, with a few odd nuggets, as I call them, in there. If any of you have watched my my old videos, you'll know that I had a pigeon called Eric, named after Eric Pickersgill. He was one of the, so I've got no escapees. I'm a bugger for leaving the doors open. But you'll see, if you can see there, you can see Eric, the white flight black cock. He's on 2 eggs at the moment. And again, I'm not cleaning these out, these need cleaning out, but they're getting moved soon, so I'm doing it all when I do. But he was literally lying on my chest 2 years ago, pretty much ready to pass away. Unfortunately, Belzica de Weird prescription medication came, and I popped one of them down his throat. He was literally lying on the side of his head, and I got the medication to come, and I turned him round, and he was infertile for 2 years. But amazingly, he's had a young bird, and that's little Eric Jr. right there, which is Eric's first bird. I mean, he was always going to stay here because he was the first ever Mila I had and one of Eric Pickersgill's best pigeons. But little Eric there, he's got over all of the medication and all of his illness, and he's fertile again, and I've got a young bird out of him. So yeah, that's the Mila. So as I say, I'm doing a lot of changes. There's a lot of changes happening. But yeah, these fancy pigeons are amazing. I'm changing over the stock loft. I'm redoing each section. So essentially I'll have a section of rollers, my racing birds out, which I'm not going to race. I haven't got the time. I just haven't got the time. And now Zandy's not here, I've got kind of the loft to do what I want with, really. And I get as much pleasure seeing the racers just flying out, to be honest. But I've got some really lovely personal favourite racing pigeons in here. These lights are terrible. By the way, don't buy them shallow LED lights. They're awful. They last about maximum a year and that's it. But yeah, some of my, this is that's probably my favourite racing cock I've got here. He's an absolute, I love him. He's a hell of a pigeon. But some really nice pigeons in here which I'm just going to fly out and enjoy, and I might use them as some feeders. The pouter pigeons in the fancies, they're not very good at rearing, so the best thing to do is to get others rearing them. So I shall use some of the racers. As I say, I'm redoing the stock loft. I was going to try and get single breeding pens in there, but I haven't got the room to get the 20 pairs that I want in. So all of my stock birds are all split up at the moment, and I'm redoing the stock loft, redoing that completely, and then I'll be pairing up for a later round. But my focus really is, as I've said on other podcasts, this setup was really based around what Zandy wanted to do, and now Zandy's racing from his new home, kind of got the ability to do what I want to do, really, which is kind of nice. It makes up for him not being here, I guess. And I've always said to him, my personal preference was always long distance pigeons, and one day I may race long distance, but for now I haven't got the time. I love spending the time that I do every day. It's a good mental release for me to be with them. I've been in here for like an hour and a half today, and it's a good, apart from opening up this morning, it's a good thing, and I'm really actually enjoying what I've got. I love having the fancy pigeons. I'm really into these rollers, and I really want to learn as much as I can about the rollers. So what I'm going to be doing is kind of come back to what I always said I wanted to do, which was build a stock team up to compete over time. I know it's a 5-year plan to compete in One Loft races around the world and in the UK. That'll be my focus for the stock team, and I'm just going to have the races that Zandy raced to here, and some young birds, spare young birds flying out around the garden, because some would say that's a waste, but I haven't got the time. And if I'm honest, it's like Zandy's been trying to break some of his races into his new place. It's not gone particularly well, but he did a training toss of the pigeons that had kept coming back there, and he only did it from 6 miles away. And 3 days ago he did one. 4 days ago he did one. 5 out of 6 came back. The next day he did it, only 1 came back. And I've just had a cock of his in, absolutely knackered, half of its tail missing at the base, and that's been attacked. And I'll be honest with you, maybe it's because I'm getting older, or I don't know, or maybe it's just because I'm soft or whatever, but it's heartbreaking for me. I can't be doing with the stress of birds you put a lot of time and effort into, and losing them. And I know they could have problems even just flying around the garden. And I know with the rollers, people have been saying birds of prey are a major issue. But at least with being around the garden with the rollers, albeit, or the racing pigeons, at least you only got to worry about birds of prey here, and you haven't got to worry about birds of prey along a distance route. So yeah, basically I'm going to be focusing on entering one loft races and really doing my best on that over the next few years. That'll be the stock loft, fly some races out, change one of the sections to a roller section, which I've got books, I'm proper into learning, because it's a whole different ball game. I know, although I know about pigeons and I've been into pigeons for over 30 years, this roller game's a whole different ball game, and it actually reminds me of being a kid again and learning a whole new thing. The roller thing's a whole different ball game. But yeah, I'm keen on that. I'm going to keep my Mila section, because over time, at some point, I've got about 40 Milas, which I think I've probably got the biggest collection of Mila pigeons in the UK. I don't know. But there's definitely something to resurrect with these Milas. A friend of Andy's, Will's, got a few from me, and he trains them every day, flies them every day, and they're like bullets. They'll fly for like a minute and they're done. But when they're flying, they're like bullets. So I'm keeping them, and I'm going to just keep developing it, buy any more rollers as they come, any more Milas as they come up, because there's not that many about, and try and get a decent group together, which I've already got. I've got some cracking rollers, Milas, and yeah, so get a section there, section for my fancy pigeons, section for the rollers, section for the racers, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying spending the time. It's good. So I thought I'd show you around what's going on. As I said, lots of changes going on. There's going to be a whole wooden roof put here. I'm going to keep the metal roof, but I'm going to put a wooden thing underneath it all over. Some changes I will, when it's all done, which won't be until the autumn time it's all done, but I will show you, do a video of the changes and everything as in their new sections and stuff. But yeah, I thought I'd show you what's going on.